Welcome to this look back through the year that was here in 2019. I'm John Luck.
And I'm Mary Evers. Throughout this program, we'll show you some of the top stories from the year from our programming, including cases of community outreach. This was a big year, not for just the town, but for the BR School District as well. The residents in town passed a debt exclusion for the Mitchell School in October that will place a $46.8 million cost on the shoulders of the taxpayers to rebuild a school that hasn't had a student in it since 2015. Combining with the MSBA's reimbursement total of $34 million, the project is estimated to come out to a grand total of $80.6 million.
Looking at the final tally from that vote back in October, 21% of the registered voters went to the polls, and of them, 2,154 residents voted to approve the debt exclusion, while just under 1,500 went against the vote. Back in October, our cameras were let into the school that hadn't been open in 4 years.
So we're in the area where the actual collapse took place back in February of 15. Luckily, it was over February vacation, and there were no students or staff within the building. Custodian was doing his rounds, noticed a slight dip in the ceiling, called the building inspector, called fire and police. I came onto site along with, at the time, our director of facilities, Al Baroncelli, and by morning's end, it was a full collapse.
We were hired to come in, as Derek said, just to take a look at the roof structure, because there was concern if there was a collapse in one area that what might lurk in other areas. So we came in, we spent many months, we had a very thorough structural investigation. The way the building is structured is there's a steel frame up to the kind of the top of the windows, and everything above the windows, all the pitched roofs that you see are based on wood trusses. And we were up in the attic for, as I said, months, looked at every single truss, which numbered in the hundreds, and documented a slew of structural deficiencies, either in the manufacturing of the trusses or the installation of the trusses. But when it was all said and done, we determined that it would be millions of dollars. First of all, the entire roof had to be replaced, but it would be millions of dollars to do that, but it would be even more expensive and labor intensive given the working conditions up above the ceilings.
As we mentioned, the debt exclusion was approved, and after the October vote, BR Superintendent Derek Swenson posted this to social media shortly after the results were released. Thank you to all the wonderful residents of Bridgewater who exercised their civic duty and came out to vote. A special thanks to our incredible team comprised of community volunteers, parents, teachers, support staff, administrators, and school committee members who have all worked tirelessly over the course of the last 5 years in order to provide our students and staff with what they require and deserve. Please know that all of your efforts on behalf of the children of Bridgewater are to be commended and are greatly appreciated. Let's go. It's becoming an all too familiar sight, opinions sometimes leading to takes and acts that can lead to protests. An attack in a New Zealand mosque that killed 50, an Amsterdam shooting that took 3 lives, 300 people killed in attacks in Sri Lanka, and a San Diego synagogue shooting that took 1 life, not to mention the countless other people that were hurt in these attacks. Now, these didn't take place anywhere near Bridgewater, but the mourning and grieving included residents and students from right here in our community.
The Bridgewater Citizens for Civility and Respect has teamed up with Bridgewater State's Minnick Institute for Global Affairs on numerous occasions to remember the lives lost, but also to spread the message of peace. The BCCR has also stood out in the center of town, again looking to spread peace and inclusion. The message from these events and standouts is simple: there's no place for hate.
The community push love over hate.
Bridgewater State University students, faculty, and residents from around the town came together to show a sense of unity and remember lives lost in recent tragedies driven by hate. In New Zealand, 50 people were killed at a mosque, and in Amsterdam, 3 people were killed in a shooting on a train. The group also remembered the 11 lives lost in Pittsburgh at a synagogue last year. A light for each life was on display on top of signs asking for peace. Those signs were outside before the event held by members of the Bridgewater Citizens for Civility and Respect who continue to stand out and speak out against hate everywhere.
We just feel that a statement has to be made that this is not the correct behavior, that we want to encourage civility and respect for all peoples. So we thought it would be a good idea to come out ahead of the gathering today to make a statement on campus to the students and whoever goes by of what we stand for. I just think that whenever these events happen, someone has to stand up on what we think is the right side of people being accepting of other cultures, other ethnic groups, other religions, whatever the differences are. We need to accept those people and not harass them and spew hate at them.
The gathering was created to remember the lives taken by 3 terrible attacks, but also to bring a community together to make a statement against hate even half a world away.
I hope this event, how sad it is, will bring our campus, our cities, our country together, make them united, make them hug each other. I'm not exaggerating if I tell you it is a scary time for so many of us. However, working with one another will help us defeat hate.
An imam from the Islamic Center of New England in Sharon spoke and asked those in attendance to honor the victims of the New Zealand attack by completing one act of kindness for each life lost.
We cannot repel evil with evil. We can repel evil with good, with love, with compassionate. So let's pledge that we're going to do something good. 50 lives, do something, pledge that you're going to do something 50 number. Keep that 50 number, that in these days and in 1 week, I'm going to do 50 good things in my life. 50 things today, perhaps, maybe for the whole week, maybe for the month.
Bridgewater State President Fred Clark attended the gathering, which opened its doors to everybody to show a sense of unity, not just at the university, but in the community as well.
Well, when you look around a place like Bridgewater, town of, or even the university, what you see is a lot of different individual identities. We have Muslim students, we have students that are from the Middle East, we have partners who are in this room who are from universities from the Middle East. So when you look around, you realize that we're not one group, we're many groups, and that's really what makes America great. We just have to remember that. I think when we have a tragedy like we've had in New Zealand or anywhere in the world or anywhere in this country, it's important for us to step up, to speak out. We stand together, and we stand up for those that we lost.
At Bridgewater State University, students and staff, along with members from the Bridgewater Citizens for Civility and Respect, came together to remember a pair of hate-fueled attacks. On Easter in Sri Lanka, more than 300 people were killed in a series of attacks at churches and hotels, forcing the closure of places of worship in the country. A few days later, at a synagogue near San Diego, a 19-year-old man opened fire during a service, killing one person and injuring several more. Regardless of where the attacks are taking place, the group that came together at the university made the statement clear. There's no place for hate.
We do that to voice our collective rejection and condemnation and denunciation to hate, violence, and the slaughtering of our Christian sisters, brothers, children in Sri Lanka.
This act should be condemned deeply from our heart before we say it in words. I cannot say anything except that people take religions as excuses to do things, which is the opposite of the message of any religion. I feel deeply sorry, hurt inside, as I said, as a human being, that this can happen, that this can be accepted by any means. My sincere condolences, my prayers to those family and victims to alleviate their pain, to give them patience, peace, and tranquility.
On Monday, December 9th, the Bridgewater Citizens for Civility and Respect hosted a forum at the Bridgewater Public Library on the upcoming 2020 election. This forum was led by Bridgewater State political science professor Michael Krasanik. During their time, they spoke with Bridgewater residents about key issues facing the American public for this next election. Such topics that were discussed include Medicare and healthcare, abortion laws, and foreign policy. As always, the BCCR gave citizens a respectful and open space to debate and ask questions about these and other topics. The BCCR will host even more meetings and forums in 2020. For more information, head to the BCCR Facebook page. Sunday, June 9th was Firefighter Sunday, which is observed nationwide. Here in Bridgewater, firefighters, both retired and current, took part in the ceremony that also serves as an opportunity to remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Council President Dennis Gallagher was in attendance along with other members of the council. Both he and Fire Chief Thomas Levy thanked the firefighters for their service to the town and thanked the families for sacrificing birthdays, anniversaries, and other big moments so that the lives of others can be saved by the first responders.
I think I can speak for everybody in the town that when we hear the ambulance go off or the fire engine go off or the police cruiser go off with their sirens, that all of us really sit there wherever we are and think, what are they going to and what are they going to be getting into when they get there? See, a firefighter's never off duty. If things do come up, that's where the special bond comes between these men and women. They truly are a family.
In Bridgewater, Firefighter Sunday also serves as an opportunity for firefighters new to the department to be sworn in and pinned by members of their own families. Joshua Sproul, Billy Lieb, and Patrick Rose all officially joined the ranks here in town. David Bradshaw won the Chiefs Award, and Jonathan Hart won the 4th annual Chief Brother Levy Firefighter of the Year Award. The award recipient wasn't in attendance because he was in advanced training with the U.S. Marine Corps. Josh Sproul and Daniel Preach, who are both Marine Corps combat veterans, accepted the award on Hart's behalf.
In September, the 6th annual BPD 5K and 1 mile fun run took its annual trek through part of town. While runners enjoyed an opportunity to hit the streets, the race, as it has every year, is a beneficiary that helps out a great cause showing community helping community. The 2019 beneficiary was Molly's Vested Dog, and at the 5K, our cameras caught up with those responsible for helping to keep police canines safe. Massachusetts Vested Dog has been in existence for years, and many may know of the story regarding Molly, who had given the money from her birthday to the group that helps protect dogs, which is an animal that Molly loves and Molly loves to help.
And how we got involved is Molly, my daughter, when she was 9 years old, we went to a Massachusetts Vested Dog event, and we had just gotten our German Shepherd, and she was surprised that dogs were not vested. So what we wanted to do is partner with Massachusetts Vested Dog, and she gave up her birthday, actually her 10th birthday, to start raising money for Massachusetts Vested Dog. This year in March, it'll be Molly's 9th year raising money for Massachusetts Vested Dog here in Bridgewater. We've actually raised money for Bridgewater Police, the Bridgewater Corrections Facility, Plymouth County Sheriff, West Bridgewater, all in the surrounding towns.
While many kids for their birthday may ask for different toys or gift cards, at the time this 9-year-old wanted to help out an animal she loved.
It is very special, especially for Molly, because she loves dogs. We do love dogs, and we just wanted to make sure that we gave back, and by giving back, you always want to find something that you have a passionate about, and we have a passion for dogs, so that's what we do. And we found some great, and partner with some great people, police officers that have canines. I mean, they're with them 24/7, and for us to make sure that their partners are taken care of, it just, really comes to our hearts.
For more information on Massachusetts Vested Dog, you can visit their website, mavesteddog.org. A $3,000 check was presented to Massachusetts Vested Dog and Molly's Vested Dog. Molly and her mom were on hand for the presentation, along with Bridgewater Police Chief Chris Del Monte and BPD 5K organizer Rebecca Kaler. And the check for $3,000 will buy some protective gear for police canines.
The standard vest cost about $1,500. A SWAT vest goes for about $2,600. And the SWAT vest, what we can do with that is you can attach it to the officer, and if they need to go somewhere, they can hoist the dog down. They can put a camera, GPS. There's all different things that you can do with the SWAT vest, which is really nice. And then we can also purchase kennel inserts like we did for Bridgewater. I know that you guys have one of the kennel inserts in the back. And
Stacy and Molly obviously been working on this. This seems to have blossomed far beyond probably what they ever thought it would be. But they've been doing it for a number of years, and so we're very grateful in the law enforcement community, particularly those of us that have canines, for the work that they have done. I know Molly as a young lady and Stacy helping her out as her mom have done a lot of work to raise funds, and so these are essential funds. They go directly to the programs, and canine is an important part of law enforcement. It's a big part people don't get to see as much of it. They don't get to see the actual work taking place usually. And so it's really an important tool that we have in law enforcement. And so oftentimes we don't get enough funding to be able to support the canine, not only the canine handler, but the canine themselves, for protective equipment and tools that help us in the long run.
The Trek presentation also served as an opportunity to announce the beneficiary for the 7th BPD 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run, which is Project PAC.
It's a nonprofit, started about 2006. We supply post-assault comfort kits, that's what the PAC stands for, to sexual assault survivors at hospitals across Massachusetts. We also have a pediatric program, and those packs are assembled and given to the children's advocacy centers across the state. Every local county in the state has a children's advocacy center.
You know, we're very fortunate. You know, oftentimes we come across people in the worst times of their lives, and so, you know, we have certain, I call them business things that we have to do as part of that investigation and prosecution ultimately, and sometimes those things are very difficult for victims to have to go through. They're necessary, but nonetheless they're very difficult, and so it's good for us to be able to support a program that kind of helps in small ways.
Last year, the 5K was run for America's Vet Dogs, which has prisoners and people in the general public team up to train puppies that will help assist veterans and first responders. Back in June, we got to meet Cruiser, who is being trained by BPD race organizer Rebecca Kaler.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Kaler. I'm the race director for the Bridgewater Police 5K, and this is Cruiser. Last year was our 5th anniversary of the race, and we chose America's Vet Dogs as our beneficiary. My goal when we chose that was to raise enough money to name one of the puppies, which was a $6,000 minimum donation. We were able to meet that goal, and we selected the name Cruiser because of police cruisers, and when you're running down the road, you're cruising along. So this is the results of our community coming together to raise money for a service dog that is going to eventually go help a disabled veteran. We asked the foundation when we made the donation if he could come live at Old Colony and be raised in the community that funded him so that they could see how the money was being spent. The program actually at Old Colony started back in 2012, so we're on our 7th year, and Cruiser is the 6th dog that my family has worked with to raise. We want to share this journey and this story with you, and we want to get more people involved, and we of course want more people to come out and run with us in September. So I hope that this inspires you to do both of those things.
For 45 years, youth baseball players, and for some, their parents too, were connected with Bob Stearns. The man who is known by many as the father of baseball passed away in 2018 at the age of 83. But this past June, the man who had made a difference in many lives teaching America's pastime had the baseball complex he worked at for 4+ decades named after him.
I'm privileged to be here to honor one of the finest citizens I've ever known in the town of Bridgewater.
If you ask those that knew him, Bob Stearns was someone that wasn't looking to be recognized for what he did for the kids here in town. Mr. Stearns passed away last year, and since then, the Bridgewater Little League dedicated its season to the man that helped introduce America's pastime to youth in the community. Residents came to Legion Field for the dedication of the Robert J. Stearns Baseball Complex at Legion Field. Family, friends, and those that played and coached while he was in the snack shack or helping someone get on the field came to the field that now bears his name to talk about the man who is synonymous with baseball in Bridgewater.
He was the father of baseball in Bridgewater. He pretty much orchestrated the entire complex and being able to have baseball in Bridgewater for kids from age 4 all the way up to 16 just through town Little League baseball. He was the district administrator for District 7 for Massachusetts. And he became even involved even beyond just our own district. He would always go to like the East Region for conferences. He went to the Little League World Series. In my opinion, he genuinely wanted every kid to be able to have the chance to play baseball if they did.
Town Councilor Tim Fitzgibbons played Little League and has served as coach here in town, and he told us that Bob's dedication to Little League baseball didn't just stop locally.
Bob was a great citizen of the community for many, many years. I first met him in 1976 when I was a 9-year-old, and he was president of the Little League, and he dedicated his life to the Little League, and not only in Bridgewater, but throughout Massachusetts, in fact, even nationally and internationally. And to recognize Bob in this manner is a very appropriate thing for the town to do. I remember times sitting over there in the snack shed where Bob was on the phone talking with Pennsylvania about eligibility issues of kids in Middleborough or Wareham, and can I accept this documentation, and so on and so forth. He was very conscientious, and he loved Little League baseball. So it was, you know, he just loved it with a passion that I can't explain, but that bled through to everybody who knew him.
In September, many in town were saddened when learning of the passing of Bill Origi. Mr. Origi, a World War II veteran, had deep roots in Bridgewater as the founder of Bill's Taxi, which started A&A Metro. Residents and students who went to school in Bridgewater over the past couple of years may know Bill as a man who would wave hi as they were driving and walking by his lawn every day. You may remember this video that we filmed last year that showed students and parents returning to that familiar lawn and seeing that familiar face which greeted them daily and sang Christmas carols to Mr. Origi. Both Bill and his family joined in, making for an unforgettable moment on a chilly day. A statement by A&A Metro was released shortly after Mr. Origi's passing that reads in part, "If 3 words could define the life of Bill Origi, they would be faith, family, and work. Bill was indeed a selfless servant and indispensable member of his community. We are all better people for having known Bill Origi and are heartbroken by his passing. He will be dearly missed." Welcome back to the Year in Review. For the first time since 2015, children in Bridgewater took part in a time-honored tradition known as the Bridgewater Kids Road Race. Now, although the race hadn't been run for a few years, runners had the opportunity to look back at some of the races from the past, and a familiar face was in attendance for what is hoped to be the return of a tradition.
Runners set. Go. Take it easy at the start.
The Bridgewater Kids Road Race came back to BSU, an event that hasn't taken place since 2015. Before then, however, thousands of students took part in this race dating back to the 1980s, and there were examples of that shown with pictures from previous road races. Sam Baumgarten has been at the forefront of the planning since the race's inception and told us that after some time off, not having the race bothered him, so he brought it back with some help.
Right after that 2015 race, I elected to take a break from organizing this race as well as cross-country and the youth track program. And Joe Gillis was able to keep the track and cross-country programs going, but the road race was not continued at that time. And it kind of bothered me that we didn't have it. And I thought about bringing it back, and then do I want to do all this work or not? And then 2 happy circumstances came about. One is that Connor was hired as a full-time coach at Bridgewater State for both cross-country and indoor and outdoor track. And when I approached Connor, he was willing to take on the responsibility of helping with the race under the aegis of the athletic department. And the athletic director, Mary Beth Lamb, gave her blessing as well. So that was one sort of piece of the puzzle of having the university help sponsor it and having the cross-country team and the coach helping. And then I came in contact with Northeast Race Management. Dan Lamaro is the head of that, and he was willing to set up the timing and registration, which again took a pretty big load off of my back. And so between Dan and Connor, I have 2 good support people to help bring this race back. So I'm really excited that it's back, and hopefully it will continue for many years ahead now.
Like, one of the biggest things that cross country and track and field is always looking for is they're trying to grow the sport. Like, there's so many different sports that attract more attention, like whether it's on TV, in the media, whatever it may be. But something like track and field is something you can do forever at any age. So it's nice to get them the experience involved with different events, whether it's like this or like the camps that Sam has going during the springtime and anything like that.
In 2012, Emma Frazier ran the road race and set the record for the fastest time in race history, at 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Emma recently returned home from college and served as a trail runner for the race that sparked her love for running.
Yeah, it definitely brings back some memories, like good ones. I really don't think that I would have run if it weren't for this race. I don't think I would have been able to fall in love with it, and I'm so thankful that I have. Very thankful for Sam, and it definitely brings back some memories that I loved. It was definitely super cool. I liked being in the back with all those fun kids. They were super awesome, and just like really happy to be there, which I think is really cool. It was also cool seeing the front runners trail back around and cheering for them, because I was like, that's so cool, because I understand being in that position. And I got to talk to the girl, I don't know her name, who won the girls race. It was just like, this is super awesome, so keep running.
The runners that took off from the starting line in front of Burnell Hall at Bridgewater State had very impressive times. I mentioned Emma's record-setting time of 6 minutes and 4 seconds, while this year's girls race winner Camden Strandberg came close to the record, finishing with a time of 6 minutes and 17 seconds. And as you continue to look at the results of the race by age group, there were a total of 32 runners in the girls' race and 41 runners in the boys' race that took place right after. And 13-year-old Connor Johnson took home top honors in that race with a time of 6 minutes and 32 seconds. All participants in both races received ribbons and will also receive a certificate in school. And the record holder in this event says that this is a race that is certainly worth running coming up in future years.
Yeah, I would say definitely try. The thing about running is that you don't necessarily have to be the best athlete. You can put in a ton of hard work and just enjoy running, and you could still be good at it. It doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst. You're just out there giving it your all, and that's something that you should be proud of.
The hope for this race is to once again be an annual race. We'll keep you posted in 2020 on the status of this hopefully yearly tradition.
During the summer, Bridgewater State welcomed members of the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program. These men and women are selected and are empowered through the handful of institutions like BSU to take part in training, mentoring, networking, professional opportunities, and support for activities in their communities.
Community engagement is important and it proved to be a driving force at the end of the fellowship to Bridgewater. Members of the delegation sewed dresses to bring back with them to their home countries, and we were there as community outreach spread worldwide. With each stitch, a difference is being made for young girls in Africa. This is being done through the Dress to Go program, and over the past few years we've shown you some of the good that is accomplished with this operation. Since 2009, dresses have been sewn and sent to over 80 countries thanks to the efforts of volunteers who care about helping others half a world away. Here in Bridgewater at the United Methodist Church, members of the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program helped with the cause, sewing dresses that will go back with them to help young girls in their own country.
One of the major things is the importance of community. And I think community in this sense is not just the small community of Bridgewater, but we are becoming a global community. And as a global community, we find ways to deal with some of the problems that we're facing, right? And some of those problems are rampant in Africa, and one of those is poverty. And of course, girls who don't have the opportunity to have such a beautiful dress with a little underwear in there, you know, for them to just feel good and to also just restore dignity. So I think it's vital, the relationship that's being built here. And I think if we can keep it going, we can certainly make the wheels turn and do that change that needs to take place.
Everyone who came to Bridgewater as part of the fellowship hold important jobs that make a difference in their own communities back in Africa. Doctors, lawyers, talk show hosts, judges, and a corrections officer from Zambia who we had a chance to talk to. The dresses she is bringing back with her are going to children of inmates in the country's prison system.
You know, we have a lot of kids back home that can't find a new dress. Most of them use a second-hand clothes. So for a girl to receive a new dress, I think it means a lot. And for me, as a correctional officer, I think I'm going to donate these dresses to inmates who have kids in prison.
And that is very interesting because last year we also had a woman who worked at a women's prison. And I've forgotten what country now, I think it's Malawi, but she actually said that these women, when they're sent to women's prisons, have to take their children into the prison with them.
Evie DeLuz has been a part of the local effort to help the Dress to Go program. For her, there's only one way to describe the feeling she gets when helping the cause.
Joy, just pure joy. It started with visiting the library in West Bridgewater and seeing 2 dresses. I love to sew. I love fabric. I asked about the dresses. I met Gail, who's here today, and she told me about them. And I went home and I made 2. And I showed them to Gloria and Sue, who are part of this team now. And they said, we need to do this.
As much as the event was about making dresses to bring back, this also served as an opportunity for residents in town to work hand in hand with members of the fellowship on an experience that illustrated community helping community.
I think the first time I will do immediately when I arrive home is to look for such place, where they make clothes. I know in my country not so many places like this, but coming here and seeing people from across one community coming together and make different clothes and are giving them out, to me it really it's nice to do that. It's a responsible thing to do.
It really feels, I think it really feels very nice. It feels like, you're creating a difference, and for us we think that's the most important thing. We feel that we have the obligation to extend our time, to extend our energy for those that really need it, and we think it goes beyond borders. It's not only in Africa. We've heard from the generous people that run this program that they've been sending dresses to so many parts of the world. So we think that this work should be able to reflect the importance of service leadership, but most importantly it should be able to reflect the energy, to reflect the passion that people have put in to say that they dress at least one girl out there. And for us, we think it's very important, and we find it very, very, very useful.
During their 5-week trip to Bridgewater, the fellowship felt genuinely welcomed by the town in what they called a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I think it's wonderful. I'm really happy with the hospitality that we've received during this Mandela Washington Fellowship. We are also here to learn public management at Bridgewater State University. So we're really thankful for this lovely opportunity.
I've really been exposed to a lot. It's totally different from home, but in a good way. As she said, the people are really hospitable, and yeah, we're just really grateful for the experience.
Since I arrived here, I've learned so much, and I've interacted with people. People here are so welcoming. I've met very experienced professionals, in education, in communication, in leadership, and believe me, I've had quite a great experience here. And me being the first South Sudanese fellow to Bridgewater State University, it gives me a unique experience, and I hope to continue connecting with all the people that I have met on this program, beyond this program, and into my future with me.
It's a lifetime experience. Yeah, I've enjoyed every moment.
To find out more about the Dress a Girl program, you can log on to dressagirlaroundtheworld.com.
It may have been quite a few years ago, but we all remember the first day of school. The anxiety, being in a setting with nobody you know, and it can be quite the roller coaster.
Yes, but at Bridgewater State, they're looking to ease some of those first day jitters by getting all the kindergartners together for a day of fun. And you can't have fun without football players singing and dancing, especially when it comes to Let It Go. But the BSU football team was finishing up training camp, and what better way to do that than welcoming the Road to Kindergarten program to Swenson Field.
1, 2, 3, kindergarten!
As many students return to the classroom, there are younger kids that are getting set for their first day of school. Students who take part in the Road to Kindergarten program had the opportunity to meet some of their future classmates to help ease the first day jitters, and of course have some fun along the way.
It's a program put on by the Parent-Teacher Association, and it just gets the kiddos ready for kindergarten. They get to meet some of their classmates, especially the families that have somebody just going through it for the first time. They get familiar with the school, and it's just a great program to get them ready for kindergarten. I think a lot of them are nervous. You see a lot of tears today, but by the end of the day they're having fun, and hopefully they're just ready for next week when they go off on the bus for the first time.
This collaborative effort between the program and the BSU football team dates back years, and after a couple of weeks of long, hot training camp and practices, this serves as a great opportunity for students and coaches to loosen up, have fun, and relive some popular children's games, including Red Light, Green Light.
Red. I already finished, bro.
Oh, you got a touch me, boys.
You got 3.
I think it's a great thing. We've been doing this for about 10 years now, and our players look forward to this. This is the end of training camp pretty much for us, so it's a nice way to end it and start the season off. These kids have a great time. I've been told by all of the people from the school system that they look forward to this day every year, and we're glad to be able to have the opportunity through the community service and everything is to have them here.
You know, it's good to get a little break. You know, we've been going at it for 10, 11 days straight now, so it's good to, you know, relax a little bit, come out here, have fun with the kids, and just give back to, you know, why we're here, you know.
We would love to hope to have future Bears here, and you know what would be nice if they wanted to come and watch a game or something, we could get them out there again.
The kindergartners took to the field for some football drills, but as much as the day was about doing hurdles, passing the ball, and spiking, the day also served as a special opportunity to once again show the partnership between the university and the community.
It's good to get involved and have, you know, this college get involved with the community a little more, and it's good for these kids, you know, coming in and seeing the campus and seeing all the guys, and they have a great time, and I think that when we, you know, include ourselves and have fun with them, it makes it that much better, so it's all for the kids.
Bridgewater had quite the year when it comes to sports in the high school and at BSU, including the ultimate prize for one athlete. For your look at the sports year in review, here's Brian Berard.
Well, it was quite the year for sports in Bridgewater. Both Bridgewater Rainham and Bridgewater State had multiple teams that made deep postseason runs, and even one won a national championship. Let's take a look at what was the year in sports in Bridgewater in 2019. And we'll end the year in review with this. For the second consecutive year, somebody in Bridgewater is a national champion. Last year was the BR cheerleaders. This year it's Bridgewater State's J.C. Andrews. Matter of fact, she won 2 national championships. She won the 100-meter outdoor hurdles and the 60-meter indoor hurdles. For your 2019 Sports Year in Review, I'm Brian Berard.
The 2019 winter season got off to a slow start with very little snowfall, save for a winter storm on January 19th, which brought a wintry mix to the region. Despite the absence of snow cover, there were some frigid outbreaks scattered about, and eventually the flakes would fly as March came in like a lion with back-to-back snowstorms. A relatively calm winter was followed by a cooler and wetter than normal spring as the newly active pattern continued right into April and May. Bridgewater saw several windswept rainy days throughout the spring months. However, summer would arrive on schedule as a mild June transitioned into a sizzling 4th of July week as temps topped 90 degrees in many areas with high humidity. The heat continued to build as high temps climbed over the century mark in a few spots on July 20th and 21st. As the cold front approached southern New England, saw some wild weather in Cape Cod made national headlines with a tornado outbreak on the 23rd of the month. More typical summery weather settled in during the next several weeks when the tropics became more active. A relatively quiet season was headlined by Hurricane Dorian, which played cat and mouse along the southeastern coastline before sparing most of the U.S. while making landfall in Atlantic Canada, where this weatherman found himself feeling a direct hit. For the first time in a few years, southern New England experienced a normal autumn season as a warm September gradually yielded to cooler temps in October and especially November, where some snowflakes started to return here and there. Likewise, for the first time in several years, snowstorms headlined early December, and the school district tallied its first snow day. Considering the long-term forecast, that might be the first of several during this school year. For BTV's Year in Review, I'm Jeff Fowler.
We've shown you some of the full-length stories throughout the year, but of course there were countless others that we didn't get to.
That's right, from a ribbon cutting to robots, from retirement to trophies, 2019 had a little bit of everything locally. Let's take a look.
1, 2, 3.
Bridgewater Savings Bank cut the ribbon in its newly refurbished location in the center of town.
Hopefully this can kickstart some things that happen here in downtown Bridgewater.
All of us can make a difference. All of us have a role to play, and all of us have a responsibility to play that role.
Our students are gigantic Red Sox fans. What can we do to continue the celebration in a safe way? Our students are, I think, thrilled to have an opportunity to take a picture with the World Series trophy, and there's a lot of smiles here at BSU.
Residents, members of Bridgewater's town government, and first responders came to the Bridgewater Senior Center on Friday to celebrate the retirement of the center's director, Lorraine Carosa.
To the service of the town of Bridgewater. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope of future good fortune and continued success in all your endeavors.
TJ Squared right there to add cargo.
TJ Squared finished 25th at the World Championships in Detroit. However, for the students involved, there is much more to take from this experience than wins and losses.
I joined the team and it totally influenced me to go into the STEM field because I've learned so many life skills, from working together as a team to learning how to wire a robot, or going to competitions and meeting people and learning to socialize.
This local summer concert series offers performers who are up and coming a chance to perform in a small setting with close to 100 members in the audience.
I'm always excited for new crowds, and I like the intimate crowds more than the bigger shows, so this is like my perfect kind of thing for me.
Residents in town came together to pick up their community. This is the second annual town pickup date. There was, of course, litter on the side of Bridgewater streets that residents picked up, and Noonan Waste Service took the numerous bags of trash.
It's truly a town event. It's one of the great town events every year. It's a great gathering of Bridgewater and really a lot of communities that come out for this event as well.
Today, on Memorial Day, we come together as every community around this country comes together in a more somber, not celebratory way, to remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country so we can enjoy the freedoms that we have.
We're here today to honor you, our heroes, to remember your achievements, your courage, your dedication, and to say thank you for your sacrifices. We stand in the midst of patriots and the family and friends of those who have nobly served. Thank you for answering the call to duty.
For some, it's college. For others, it may be starting their career right away. However, for 12 graduating students, the next step in their lives is service for the country they live in. We thank the students who are going to be serving and all those who continue to fight to keep our freedom every day.
Let's get in here, take action. I kind of leapt off of social media, landed in the president's seat. Pretty cool, right?
After the election, Julius Claparis received congratulations and thanks for the past 6 years on the BR School Committee during their April meeting.
I've been on the council for several years. Now is the right time to take a break, ending my continuous service on the town council. Effective at the end of this meeting, I'm leaving the council. I'm resigning as the town council representative for District 6.
Horns were honking in the Spring Street parking lot at BSU, where the annual Touch a Truck was being held by Angels in America and Bridgewater Auto Body. Now, this event also served as a purpose to promote the Slow Down Move Over law. Runners have started training for the 2019 Boston Marathon, but with the 26.2-mile trek still a couple of months away, participants have begun the fundraising to take part in the race. For Justin Roberts, owner of Champions Barbershop on Spring Street, what better way to raise money than with what he knows best? A charity buzz-off was held on January 27th to raise money for Justin to run in the marathon coming up in April.
The annual Polar Plunge is the first thing on the calendar for many Massachusetts residents. Among them was Bridgewater resident Fran Jeffries, who ran for her Rotary Club.
I'm going to have fun. I've already met a person who's going in alone. Yeah, we're just going to have a great time. It's a wonderful event.
All right, so we're here inside the BTV studio. We have the summer recreation program here today. It's our annual tour of BTV, a great summer tradition.
With 374 graduating members of the class of 2019, this year's class from Bridgewater Rainham was the largest class in school history. For the first time since 2007, BR held an outdoor graduation on the football field.
This day brings to a close a very important chapter in the lives of a wonderful array of young men and women.
We wouldn't want to have a year in review without an athletic story involving a BTV person, since, well, it rarely happens, unless you count like softball trophies, which Brian Berard is the world famous softball champ, or you count that time that Jeff and I dove for passes at the Super Bowl celebration there for the Patriots a few years ago.
Well, I guess you could kind of count them, but back in June, the BR DECA Club held a color run, and instead of just covering the run, I decided to go for a run myself, as everyone there helped in supporting a great cause. On June 9th, the Bridgewater Rainham DECA Club hosted a color fun run at the high school to not only raise money for the club, but also to give students involved a real-life experience running an event like this. We caught up with the club's business advisor, David Ferreira, to talk more about the club.
Every year we try to do something different for DECA, which is a business club, and we want to raise awareness for the club for one, secondly raise funds for our students who compete throughout the Massachusetts and internationally, help offset the cost for that. So beautiful day here, family fun day, carnival games, bouncy houses, get the family involved. We found it's the best way to raise money for our students.
BR is just one chapter of the international nonprofit DECA that strives to teach high schoolers in the areas of business, marketing, and finance. Every year, clubs come together to compete against each other while working through real-life business situations.
DECA is an international club with over 300,000 members, and it's a role-playing and a written exam for students in various business categories. If students like marketing, if they like entrepreneurship, they like finance, they can compete with judges and other schools in different categories. If they compete in their category and they win, they advance to another section. They have districts, states, and then internationally where they compete against Canada and Puerto Rico as well as the United States. And that's the highest level where they can win DECA Glass. So it's 3 levels of competition, real-life role plays where they take a business case and the best answer to those cases advance to the next round. So it takes what's taught in the classroom and brings it into case studies in front of a real judge.
With beautiful weather, a good cause to support, and the opportunity to get covered in paint, I decided to take a crack at the 5K myself. Before I ran, however, I needed a little help from my brother to get started with the paint. All right, let's do it. You threw the whole... After faster time than even I was expecting, I was covered in many different colors from head to toe after being doused in paint at the 5 different paint stations along the race course. After I finished, I also got a chance to catch up with Miss Mass, who had a special connection to the DECA Club. I'm here after the color run, as you can see, with Miss Massachusetts. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
So what brings you here today?
So I am a huge supporter of DECA. I went to King Philip High School and I was in DECA over there and went to ICDC. And I just think the organization's so great. You know, it teaches a lot of valuable lessons. So I wanted to come out here and support today.
All in all, the day was a huge success for the DECA Club. For more information about what DECA does, you can visit their website at www.deca.org. In 2019, we had one-hit wonders, blockbuster hits, television programs, and I guess some things happened in the world of sports.
Could have been like a Super Bowl parade, I don't know. Maybe. But we did something like this last year for the holiday season. Right. We put the perfect trivia skills of myself, Jeff Ballard, and Brian Berard. We all put our knowledge of 2019 pop culture on the line, and, well, here's the results.
Welcome into Year in Review 2019 Trivia. With me, I have our 3 contestants, Brian, John, and Jeff. I will ask them
Y'all going down.
I will ask them 8 questions that has to do with popular culture stuff that happened in 2019. 2 movie questions. Yes, Jeff.
We're not very popular.
I know. But
Hey,
we're
remember
still
that
gonna
time
do
I won trivia last year?
Oh, God. Anyways, we're doing 2 movie questions, 2 television questions, 2 music questions, and 2 sports questions. I have a bad feeling sports is the only one the 3 of you will get. For your first question in the category of movies, what was the highest grossing film for 2019?
2019.
Yes, this year.
Can I phone a friend?
No. Your only friends are sitting in front of you and competing with you, so.
Don't look at my answers.
Yeah.
Brian, you reveal yours first.
Frozen 2.
Wrong.
Really?
John.
Star Wars.
There was no Star Wars movie.
That's
Anyway.
my go-to.
Forrest Gump.
No.
That thing's still killing it on Netflix.
The correct answer is Avengers Endgame. What music icon's life was the subject of a film this year? Jeff, show yours first.
Forrest Gump.
No.
I went with a movie this time, but not from this year. Ray, because I don't know.
Are you kidding me? No.
It was a movie on the...
Not from this year.
It was a movie.
Brian.
Well, I went with Freddie Mercury.
That was last year.
That was last year. I had a feeling.
The correct answer is Elton John.
Oh, that's
Man.
right.
Rocket Man was this year?
Yes. We're going to go on to music. Maybe there's more hope.
Because the last music question was so good for us.
That was a movie question.
Yeah, about a music person.
Lizzo.
No.
Oh.
What is Billboard's top song of 2019?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
All right, you're forfeiting already?
Yeah.
Okay.
No clue.
John?
Old Town Road.
There you go.
Of course,
Right.
I should have known.
I wrote Baby Shark.
Ooh, that would have been close.
Lord. Yeah.
Funny thing, it took me till last month to actually make the end of that song.
Okay, so John's winning with 1 point after 4 questions.
Shout
3
wasn't
questions.
on there.
No! This year, one of the top artists was Billie Eilish. Her song My Strange Addiction features audio samples from what popular television show?
Who the hell's Billie Eilish?
Billie Eilish.
It's Eilish.
I thought it was Eilish.
No.
Okay.
John saw his answer.
No,
Brian, you go first.
I went with Stranger Things.
No.
Oh, it was in the word of the song, yeah.
Can I change my answer?
Oh, no, John.
John, you know what the saddest part about this? I played this song for John like a month and a half ago.
So you had a leg up. I do this game in protest.
Oh.
The answer is The Office. Television, okay? What show chose to end its 12-year run in 2019? Jeff finally knows
That one, I got one. All right, I got one.
So it didn't get canceled. The writers decide to end the show. Oh, Lord.
12 years? I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna do the actor's name.
All right. John, Jeff, you go first.
Big Bang Theory.
Correct.
I was completely wrong already.
John, you go.
Modern Family.
Has not technically ended yet.
It was close.
It doesn't end
I'm
until
giving close
2020.
answers.
It ends in 2020.
Well, I answered Ted Danson. What was the show that he was on?
The Good Place?
Yes, The Good Place.
Also still on.
That doesn't end until next year either.
Oh, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory ended this summer.
I need to check in with a point here.
What was the highest rated television broadcast this year?
Highest rated television broadcast?
Yeah.
Rated television broadcast this year.
If we've learned anything from this is that you, 3 of you consistently disappoint me.
Took you till now to realize that?
All right, John, you go first. Let's see your answer.
The Super Bowl.
Incorrect.
I went with the Patriots versus the Cowboys game.
Jeff?
The impeachment trials.
No.
Oh.
Brian is right.
Woo!
All right. This should be easy. If the 3 of you don't know this
Sigourney Weaver.
I'm going to be so upset. Who was the 2019 World Series MVP? Brian!
2019 World Series MVP.
Oh my goodness.
Brian, let's see your answer.
I went Anthony Rendon.
Incorrect.
Steven Strasburg.
Oh, I had Scherzer.
Wow.
My bad.
John, congratulations.
Find some relevant questions next time.
I win.
How are they? They were pop culture things that most people know.
And there you have it, a local look at 2019. We thank you for watching BTV not just this year, but over the past 30 plus years. Sports, government, news, music, and everything in between. It's the viewers that watch that make the channel what it is today.
Through 2020 and beyond, we'll keep you updated on events around the community and the impact national stories have here at home. Don't forget you can watch our programming on our website, btvaccess.com, which will soon see a new look. Plus, stay updated on all of our social media pages. For now, I'm Mary Evers.
And I'm John Luck. As we leave, we're going to show you some of our best moments of the year, or worst, depending on how you look at it. Either way, have a good laugh. Here's the bloopers from 2019.
Yes. Ready.
I'm ready too. Not that anybody asked.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Let me know when it's time to read again.
I regret this whole year.
Gotta get the fuzzies out of my eye. We recording?
Yes, because I'm not that stupid. I mean, that's kind of 50-50.
Now for your bus stop forecast tomorrow, we really don't see any issues here. In fact, we don't see any issues at all because there is no bus stop. Where the hell's the forecast? Look.
I was distracted.
From 11 a.m. to what is it? What the heck is that?
I think it's Woofles.
Is it Woofles or Woofies?
It's Woofles. That's an L, not a I.
Who the heck named that? Woofles?
Woofles?
I feel like I should be holding a piece of paper, making myself look more official.
There'll be an ice cream truck with waffle cones, music, face painting, and of course future pet students. Waffle cones. What? What are waffle cones?
I was trying so hard not to laugh, but you laughed anyway, so I just let it happen.
Waffle cones? What are waffle cones?
Ice cream cones that dogs can eat.
Is that what they are?
Saying, last year you were nice with a hat on.
My hat.
No hat, no nice.
My hat. So sad.
Hey, guess what I have? A hat.
Celebrities and athletes have been aged thanks to the app that originally debuted in 2017, making what's old new again, or in this case, what's photographed is old. One of the filters will allow you to age yourself to what you would look like in your 70s and 80s. We decided to try it here at the studio and see what we'll look like later on in life.
So I finished. Amazing, yep. 3 miles in under 20 minutes. Slightly impressed with myself. I think that after this, and this huge mess that I am, I might be giving Jeff Fowler for the a run for his money for the title of most involved Bridgewater resident who's not actually a resident.
Certainly digging down deep and getting involved with the story, and if she can do that for another 19 years, she'll be able to take a run at my record. So good luck to that. The challenge is on, but I will not be drawing myself or painting myself.
Well, I knew eventually you guys find that. It only took you 3 or 4 years, but yes, I did. I did sketch comedy in college, as you can see. I'm hoping it was funny, but...
Make me when it's over.